Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us for today's webinar, Unlocking the Power of Commerce, presented by Advictorium Solutions and Pimly. Our first speaker is Abby Schreiber. As a Salesforce architect at Advictorium Solutions, Abby has extensive experience partnering with large and small organizations to successfully implement and manage their analytics and commerce platforms. Abby has earned 10 Salesforce certifications and leverages this experience to drive business growth across all of the industries she works with, including MedTech and manufacturing. Abby is a founding member of Advictorium's Commerce Practice and a member of the Salesforce Commerce Partner Advisory Board. At this time, I'm going to hand the mic over to Abby, who will begin today's presentation. Abby, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Linda, so much for that introduction. We have a lot of really exciting stuff to touch on today. I'm very excited to be here and be part of this, particularly because it's a big part of my day-to-day here at Advic in the commerce space. And I have personally seen the business impact a PIM can have on an organization, especially when it comes to maximizing efficiency within commerce. So thank you for that, Linda, and let's get started. Our agenda for today, we're going to start by talking about a PIM. What is a PIM? We'll touch on some industry challenges when it comes to product information. And then we'll get into the fun stuff. We'll touch on Pimly. That's when I'll pass it over to Mike. We'll get a demo of Pimly as well. We will recap today's webinar or close today's webinar with implementation and configuration discussions, and then talk through next steps. So let's start with what is a PIM. I'm going to start with just the textbook definition here. PIM stands for Product Information Management. A PIM is a platform that provides a centralized location for users across an organization, so sales, marketing, any user within a business, to collect, manage, and enrich product data. So what do I mean when I say product data? That starts with technical data about a product. Those are your specifications, dimensions, colors, facts, really any relevant information to your consumers and to the people who are selling these products, your salespeople. A PIM can also store digital assets. These are your product images. So think, a thumbnail image of a product, maybe even images of a product at different angles. And product documents as well. What I've seen for documents, oftentimes installation instructions, success stories for a product or solution, those kind of things. A PIM can also store product relationships. These are your product hierarchies. How are products related to each other? Accessories, and also related products for cross-selling and upselling opportunities. A PIM is going to store all of that data for you. And last but not least, a PIM provides an easy way to distribute that product information to different channels, your commerce channels, your sales channels, your services team. It's accessible for everyone who needs it. I want to touch on just a couple of past experiences I've had with customers when it comes to product information. There was one company, they were based out of the Northeast in the flooring industry. And they were having a challenging time collecting images for the products that they wanted to show on a Salesforce B2B commerce storefront. The challenge there was they were stored in several different sources. There was a series of images stored and maintained in an Excel spreadsheet by one person. And then there were a handful of people who were maintaining images for a different brand within an email thread. Other images were stored directly within Microsoft Teams. They were scattered across many different places. That made it very challenging to bring those images into Salesforce and surface them on the B2B commerce storefront. Another example that comes to mind, this was a customer based out of the West Coast. They're in the music industry. And we had a challenging time finalizing product descriptions for them that they wanted to make available for both their internal users, their sales reps on Salesforce, as well as their customers on a B2B commerce storefront. The challenge there was that these descriptions needed to go through multiple people, multiple levels of approval before they were polished and finalized and signed off on. Without a true PIM in place, an optimized PIM, this process was extremely tedious, tiring, and took place over emails and ended up taking a very long time. If both of these companies had a more optimized PIM in place, everyone involved could collaborate in one central location. Everyone could get their products ready on time and on budget. So really the big points I want to hit home here, what a PIM can do, especially an optimized PIM. It can improve your data quality. It can get you to market faster, increase conversions, increase productivity internally, and reduce returns for your company. So there are many benefits towards investing in a true PIM. Moving on, let's touch on some product information challenges. Today, we're going to talk specifically about the MedTech and manufacturing industries. We wanted to focus on those industries because I think those are two well-known industries that have a vast selection of products and solutions, a very, very large product catalog. In addition to that, these products are constantly changing, sometimes as frequently as daily, weekly. So not only are companies within these industries rolling out new products and solutions frequently, they're making updates to things they've been selling for years. And it's critical for those client-facing team members to have expertise in all of the products that their company offers. That is not an easy task when we're talking about the volume of products I'm talking about right now. So that's where a PIM comes in, right? The PIM equips each team member with all the information they need to sell. It gives them, an idea of cross-selling and upselling opportunities. We talked about those things earlier. Relationships of products, hierarchies, accessories. It can also give them the ability to service products while they're out and about in the field. And it can support different needs based on location. Sometimes you'll be in one region and a product catalog there will be totally different than another. So above all, a PIM is really going to, make your team most productive, most efficient when it comes to selling. A game changer here is the idea that a PIM could exist directly in Salesforce. Already, your internal Salesforce users, they are in Salesforce every day, hourly, working on opportunities, checking on orders, tending to cases. So why not plant that PIM directly into Salesforce rather than having those team members bounce back and forth between their Salesforce environment and an external system where their PIM is stored? That's where Pimly comes in. And I'm going to introduce Mike from the Pimly team. Mike Milburn is the co-founder and co-CEO at Pimly. Prior to Pimly, he spent 15 years at Salesforce and played key roles in the evolution of Salesforce partner, services, and customer success teams. Mike was on the founding team for Service Cloud, and he served as the executive sponsor for the launch of Salesforce Field Service. After Salesforce, Mike was the president of Salsify GTM, and he ran the customer-facing organizations there. Please welcome Mike. Mike, the floor is yours. Let's talk Pimly.
Awesome, Abby. Thank you so much. And so it's great to be here. And so as Abby mentioned, I spent 15 years at Salesforce, which a small little company called Salesforce. And of course, they pioneered cloud-based CRM. And the middle initial in CRM is relationship. And so what I think is really important place to start is the relationship. And we're so thankful for Advic. And I wish we had you guys when we were building Service Cloud, because you've built such an incredible relationship with all of the Salesforce AEs, SEs, and leadership, and with its customers and partners. And of course, we are one of those. The second piece of R is relationship with products. And we know Salesforce to have built an incredible suite of sales and service and marketing and commerce. And we also think it's time to build a relationship with products. And that's really what we're here today to talk about and show our combined vision for the future of products in CRM. So we've built a native product information management system on Salesforce that brings to life all of your product information so you can use it across sales and service and marketing. In fact, the way that we think about Pimly is that every single user of Salesforce, every single member of your company is a potential consumer of product information. And we utilize the standard Salesforce Product 2 object to be able to do that. And we're going to show you that in the demo in just a few minutes. Next slide, please. So what is a PIM? Abby talked about this a little bit earlier, but let's take a graphical view of it. And I think the important thing here is we talked about relationship. The relationship for your product information is right in the center of this wheel. And so in MedTech, you have so many devices and M&A and time to market, but you also have compliance and regulatory that you have to deal with. And so you've got data sources coming not only from your own products or your suppliers or your vendors. Sometimes you've got ERP or order management data. You're going to go international and you've got language. Translations. You also might have pricing and packaging. The bottom two icons on the slide really represent the enormous amount of unstructured product content that exists, whether it's pictures or videos or sales assets that are used. We see, and Abby talked about this earlier, we see this information living everywhere within an organization, and we think it's time to centralize it. Then once you have that information in a centralized spot, of course you can distribute it to e-commerce in a safe, trusted platform like Salesforce, but you can also use it in the field. You can use it at a point of sale. You can use it in a marketplace, and you can use it on every mobile device and every print catalog. So this is a visual representing what we talked about earlier, and we can't wait to show you the product. Next slide. So to set this up, it's my pleasure to introduce Brian Collins, head of the Pimly go-to-market team. Brian, let's set up this incredible demo.
Awesome. Thank you, Mike. And I'm excited to show you a Pimly demo today. So it looks like everyone should be able to see my screen. So like Mike said, my name is Brian, and I head up the go-to-market team here at Pimly. And so what we've done today is we've whipped up a demo specific to the HLS, med device, and manufacturing space using a fictitious company called BioVista. And so what I'm going to go through is try to represent in Pimly some of the things both Abby and Mike discussed using a few user stories. So the first user story that I'm going to go through is someone that might be a part of the sales team that needs to go into a system like Salesforce that they trust and they use to do their job and get a better understanding of a product that maybe they want to talk about in a meeting. So if I click log in, the first thing I want to do is set the context for what historically a salesperson would have done if they would have searched for this product in Salesforce. So maybe I really want to talk about this critical care bed. Well, historically in Salesforce, if I came in and tried to look up the product, what I see is essentially a set of fields. So it's not incredibly helpful and informative for what I'm trying to do to enable me. So now let's look at this Great Care 100A powered by Pimly. So now I think you'll be able to see pretty quickly the difference in terms of the more enriched experience that I have as someone trying to get ready for this meeting. So I can come in, the first thing I can do is actually look at the product. I can review the product details and information, maybe a couple different descriptions for me, sizing, dimensions like Abby talked about, the warranty and care. I can go through variants of this product, so maybe there's a B and a C to make sure that I am looking at the one that I want to speak to, as well as look at some enablement items that have been integrated here into the page. So maybe these are the highlights. These are the key things that I should talk about. And so here's our competitive or market differentiation. And so I'll probably also be thinking about cross-selling and upselling opportunities. So you can do things in Pimly like relate accessories here. So maybe these are some items that go really well with the bed, or cross-sell options, right? Maybe these are larger items that I want to speak to and include in this type of a conversation. And it's right here. It's super simple and easy for me to find the information that I need in the location I expect it to be. But then there's the how, right? So how do I actually go about doing this? And so Pimly gives you the power to also relate and associate other assets that might be helpful. So here's an example of a playbook, but maybe you have technicals, sheets, FAQs, customer help docs, those sorts of things that I need to have handy so I can come in and do a really good job in the meeting. And so the last piece that I want to highlight on this page is everything here is configurable. So all these components that you're seeing are super easy to configure and customize for the user, the role, for the person viewing it and consuming the information. So you can get it really specific so that it's helpful, as well as build out any sort of workflow that might make sense. So maybe you want to associate this with like an opportunity or some such thing. So because this is built on Salesforce, it gives you the power to do that very simply and easily and get it just right. So we looked at so far is a little bit of a sales story here, but now let's look at Mike's baby in the Service Cloud. So we'll use the same critical care bed example, but let's say now my BioVista company has received a case for a malfunctioning bed. So I can obviously see the normal items on the case details that I'd be able to see. But now instead of hopping out to some other site, I can actually see the product in question over here to the right in a carousel. And I can be prompted with different information related to the product that maybe I need in my role here to do a good job. So service messaging and resources or other locations that I can point the customer to, as well as assets specific to me, organized and managed here in my workflow. Additionally, I can see a different set of product details. So maybe I need to speak to warranty and warranty length pretty regularly for these types of cases. I now can reference that information really quickly and easily. And then in terms of cross-sell, upsell, once you have this product information, this catalog represented in Pimly, you can start to build workflows like this so that maybe when this type of a case comes in, or there's a case for this product, oftentimes customers will want to buy these accessories or these items that are related to it, and so you can quickly and easily include that here. And so this helps improve the customer experience, and again helps facilitate that cross-sell and upsell. Cool. So now I'm going to go through a slightly different use case. And so managing a large number of SKUs and product information can be cumbersome, but Pimly makes that easy. And so the way that it does that is by taking information from these different data sources like Mike spoke about and making sense of it and representing it into a catalog here directly in Salesforce. And so again, I'm looking at this critical care bed, this Great Care 100, and now what I'm looking at are the relevant properties against this. Some of these properties are being inherited from parents here. So this global product type is coming from the medical beds category, whereas this subcategory is coming from the critical care beds category and on the way down to properties that are related directly on this sellable SKU of the Great Care 100. I can quickly and easily add properties if that's my role at the organization. It's super easy to do, and so maybe I need to add different elements that we're hearing from the field, and I need to be agile and quick about doing that. Pimly allows you to do that fast. In addition to that, I can start to relate those digital assets as well as these PDFs that we had mentioned here to keep things logically organized and separated so people can find what they need really quickly where they think it should be and where they look first. Additionally, I can relate products here, which I showed earlier with the cross-sell, upsell options, as well as the variants to the different products. And then obviously I can see the hierarchy here represented, so I understand where this fits within the hierarchy. And so the last main piece that I want to show you is how Pimly can also be used to enrich or create copy for different use cases. So because of Pimly's locales and channel functionality, you can then start to further segment what information is available and dispersed to who. So maybe I have a specific channel for my B2B commerce site. Pimly has a direct connection with B2B commerce to make that easy and populate those storefronts, but can also be used for other websites because of the flexibility. In addition to that, for this example, if you look at this marketing description here, Pimly also offers the option to start to localize and translate and contextualize the copy and still keep it simple and easy. So now when I'm in this German locale, I'm looking at this marketing description here in German versus this Italian locale. You'll see this is now translated into Italian. And so for the last one here that I'll show, French, you'll notice that this is still in English. And so I'm going to need to go in and translate this simply and easily. And so this is where Pimly is beginning to integrate generative AI into the product. And so all that I need to do is click on this magic wand, and in this instance, indicate the property that I want to translate, click activate, and hit submit. And now what the machine's going to do is reference the Pimly property in question here, and then it's going to give me a translation of this copy into French, which I can easily copy down into my clipboard here and save as the property value in French. And so we went through, so what I went through, just to kind of recap here, is a use case specific to sales and sales enablement, a use case to service and service enablement, and went through a little bit about how this can help you manage a complex set of SKUs and product catalog. But obviously there's a lot more power here. So looking forward to any future conversations and ways that we can be helpful here on the Pimly side. And so with that, Abby, I will turn it back over to you to go through next steps.
Perfect. All right. Just trying to figure out how to share screen here. One sec. All right. Cool. Okay, Brian, thank you so much. I'll just add, I have been able to learn about Pimly a lot over the last couple of months, and I've heard the success stories. I've seen what it can do, how it can change a business and productivity, your Salesforce day to day. It is a very powerful tool. So thanks for sharing. So as we wrap up, I do want to pivot for a second and talk a bit about Advic, who we are. Some of you on the line today work with us already, others may not. So I'd like to use this time to tell you a bit about our organization. Afterwards, we do have an exciting offer to share, so please hang back just for a couple more minutes and we'll go from there. So why Advic? I want to start by touching on some of the metrics you see on the left-hand side of the slide. Across our organization, we have 575 Salesforce and MuleSoft certifications. We are a multi-cloud Salesforce partner, so we are accredited or certified across a number of different Salesforce clouds. We have over a 4.9 out of 5 average customer satisfaction rating with Salesforce. We have delivered over 1,400 projects, and we are a top 25 global Salesforce partner. So a lot of experience doing what we do, and generally we do a good job. Our clients like working with us. They come back and do more work with us. So very proud of that, and I personally am very proud to be part of it. So let's just touch on a couple other bullet points here. Tailored approach. All of our projects begin with an in-depth discovery that results in a technical roadmap. That roadmap provides a high-level overview of how operations can be streamlined, sales accelerated, and gives you an idea of a long-term solution that is scalable and tailored to your business needs. That is the outcome of each discovery that we have throughout the course of the project. We are a trusted partner, so we take pride in our relationships with our clients. I just touched on, many of our clients are return clients. We've had year-long relationships with them. A lot of our clients view us as an extension of their own business, and that's something we really strive for as a team member on a project. It's a goal for us to understand the business just as well as you all do. Our team is very experienced, very diverse. We are made up of developers, consultants, specialized consultants, architects, all of which work together, collaborate on projects to innovate and deliver those effective solutions for you. So it's very important for us to go above and beyond and making sure that what we're building within Salesforce is catered to your business. We're not trying to adapt your business to fit the Salesforce mold. And as we talked about today, we are industry focused. We touched on some experience in the MedTech and manufacturing industries today, but our project experience goes well beyond those two industries. On a personal note, I've been at Ad Victoriam for 5 years. I have loved every second of it. I will tell you all that every single person who works here is incredibly smart, motivated. We have a very efficient group who really bring nothing but the best to the table and represent some of the leaders in the Salesforce space. So it is not only a great place to work for me, but also a great Salesforce partner to you. Okay. And last but not least, here is the offer I mentioned earlier. We want to offer you a complimentary product information roadmap session. So a roadmap is going to be a strategic plan that maps out the big picture vision and an execution plan to tackle those complex business and technology challenges, obviously with the focus being around product information. This would be a 2 to 3 hour evaluation with a solution engineer on the Ad Victoriam side, a review of your current business and technology landscape and challenges, and an overview of strategic goals and future state discussion. So after that, our team would deliver a roadmap presentation of the proposed solution, and that would include a high-level architecture of the solution, timeline, and budget estimation as well. So pretty exciting stuff. And with that, I just want to thank everyone for joining us today. Mike and Brian and I, we've really enjoyed presenting to you. It was fun putting this together. It's really exciting to be part of it. So please just keep an eye on your email. We will forward the recording of today's webinar within a week. And thank you so much for your time. Have a great rest of your day. If you have any questions, my email is here. Please reach out. And Brian's email from Pimly is here as well. Thank you so much for your time.